To Lieutenant General David Deptula on all of this. Well, something is changing, and I don't know whether, and you're the expert here, General, I'll always defer to you, that the strategy seems now, if you're Vladimir Putin, lock down what we have and don't venture forward to try to gain what we don't have yet. What do you make of this and where it could be going?
Well, Neil, thanks for having me on. I think you're right, and your reporting this morning has indicated the direction it's going, and that is not in Putin's favor. But one of the things I would offer is NATO and the United States need to get back on the side of the deterrent equation where we're causing Putin to react, not the other way around. And quite frankly, the other thing that needs to be done is, given the situation on the ground, the NATO and the United States need to provide the Ukrainians more tools to enable them to fight and win. The other point I'd like to make, and pardon me for going on, but I think it's an important one, is to understand that Putin's true goal here is to restructure the security architecture of Eastern Europe. As was just mentioned, he initiated this effort back in 2014 with the annexing of Crimea, and now he's attempting to do the same with Ukraine. He's not going to stop there, Neil. And so NATO and the United States needs to think ahead, not just into the current time, and accomplish a more forceful power projection by the United States and NATO into the Eastern European NATO nations.
Now, there are others I've talked to, General, who look at this and say he might have wanted to do that when all of this started. But the clumsy nature and the disorganized way he's gone about it in this better than 1 month long war, he's been humbled. His military has been embarrassed. And he is not up to that expanded fight. So we're worrying about something that might not happen. What do you make of that?
I make of that the typical U.S. Yeah, well, let me just say it. Sort of arrogant mirror imaging that tends to go on, where U.S. And NATO personnel tend to assume Putin and the Russians think like we do. So as you can tell, I don't agree with that kind of perspective. We shouldn't underestimate what the Russians are capable of, or not necessarily what they're capable of, but what they may attempt to do. You know, I think the Baltics are very susceptible to further Russian adventurism and due to their proximity, and we need to be very careful and send a clear message to Putin to stay out. And I think a way that we can do that is by looking at capabilities and stop trying to conduct strategy by counting the numbers of pairs of boots on the ground. We need to do things like deploying a squadron of the world's most capable stealthy fighters, like the F-22, to the Baltics and Romania. And if the Russian Foreign Ministry takes another aggressive threat or makes another threat, units of F-35s could follow to Poland. These are the kinds of moves that will cause Putin caution and induce uncertainty into his decision calculus. Then there's the option to send stealthy B-2s to England. That'll get his attention. So any one or all of these actions would stand to regain NATO's position in the deterrence equation.
General, fascinating. You always make people think. I appreciate that. Thank you again, sir. Very good seeing you. And thank you for your service to this country as well.